Okay, so this is our video for CIS 4710. 4710?
Yes.
And we're doing our video on demonstrating our vulnerable machine for our final project as our presentation. I am Rachel Shima.
And I'm Melody Lou.
And this is our Windows vulnerable box. We installed Windows 10 ISO, and we gave it the recommended settings: 2 gigabytes of memory, 60 gigabytes of hard disk, 1 processor. We put it on the NAT network so that it's going to interact with our Kali box, which we will be using for a couple of our exploits. So now we're going to take a look at our Kali box to see what's actually in this machine. So when we want to start off with this box, we're going to look at our IP address first, just to make sure we know what it is. And this is our network address, with our Kali box being the 156 box. So then we're going to run an nmap on all the boxes in this network to see if we can find our Windows machine. And that's Snyder notation to just grab everything at once. Okay, so this has now pulled up all the boxes that it can find on the network. As you can see our network boxes and our Kali box down here, which has all of our ports closed. But this one has a lot of ports open, and it's a VMware box, and it's got an FTP server. That's how we know we're looking at the right Windows 10 box, because we set it up to be an FTP server. I'm not quite sure which one this one is, but this is the box we're looking for. So next we're going to try and see if we can access that FTP server. So we're going to pull this up our Firefox window, go to FTP, put in our IP address we want, and it's going to ask us for a login, which we don't actually know at the moment. So we'll come back to that later. The next thing we want to try is to remotely log in. For that, we're going to use our desktop to see if remote access is enabled on this box. It's going to try and get a connection, and it looks like it is enabled. But again, we need a credential in order to log in here. So we're going to come back over to our Windows 10. We're actually going to take a look at these accounts now. We have 3 accounts on the home page. One is obviously the administrator. One is I'm not ready, which has a password, which we don't know yet. And one is I'm ready. But when we click on I'm ready, we automatically start logging in. No password required, which is our first vulnerability, because this is a very insecure account. Anybody can click on it and log in. It's being slow because of Bandicam. Bandicam was the source of all of our problems.
Dr. Brown, you were awesome. Please give us an A.
Okay, so we can obviously log into this account and we can poke around a bit. And if we look at our account settings. Hello?
Hello. It's me. As you can see, we are having a lot of fun with this.
Tons of fun. So whenever it pops up here, we're going to learn what type of account this is and what we can do with it. We'll probably cut a lot of this out. Okay, So as you can see, in our account type, we are only a local account, so we can't do much with changing policies or looking at files or anything like that. But if we sign out here, and wait another 10 minutes for it to give me the option to sign out. We sign out and go back to our home page, and we try that our desktop again. And then we come into this user. I'm ready. It would appear that not only can we remotely log in, we can use blank passwords to remotely log in. So that means if we were to have the resources and time to escalate this into an admin account, we would have a blank password admin account that we could access from anywhere on the network. We would not have to be at that computer. So that brings us to our second vulnerability. And that blank passwords are enabled, and we have a blank password user. So we're going to try and go for a brute force attack. In that one, we use the MSF console.
Mm-hmm.
Do you want to walk this through?
Sure.
Okay. Just tell me what to type.
Okay. So we want to go to the MSF console.
Okay. So since we're running a little bit over time, we're going to skip setting all the options here. And as you can see, we are in our auxiliary scanner /FTP/FTP login. And we have set our password file as username, or password files as common txt, which is a common password file, very short list to save time, but we can easily find a bigger file if this one were to fail.
And then we also set the usernames. We are under the assumption that we already know all the usernames, so we just put in those names into the file.
And again, this is to save time. Yep. And we are stopping on success to again save time.
And then you want to set the R hosts to be the IP of the machine, of the vulnerable machine.
Okay, and then we're going to hit exploit. So as you can see, we're probably cutting back in. I'm not ready has a very common password, a very vulnerable password, easily hackable by most wordless. It's actually one of the more used passwords. So if you go into the FTP server, here we've already logged in with his credentials, and you can see we have the congratulations text here. It's saying that it doesn't know who I am, but we can use his credentials to get in here. There's nothing too interesting on his account except that he is the admin of the FTP server, which means that not only does his password provide access to the computer, he is the one who set up the FTP box, so we can do whatever we want in this file. He's the one who has the file on his actual desktop, and we can put whatever we want into the server through his account. And he has this template with all of our credentials on it, including our security question credentials, which is already very, very, very powerful. So, and then if we want to go back to this box and try to switch users here, and say that we forgot the password for the admin, or that we weren't able to brute force it, or see that file on the server, we're going to attempt a random password here. And what do you know? Our admin seems to be very, very forgetful. So if we type in change 8* without spaces as per the admin's instructions, we have access to his account. which is one of our big vulnerabilities as well. So here we've already pulled up an example of our Windows firewall. It's turned off. Our private profile firewall is turned off. Our public profile firewall is turned off. Our Windows Defender virus protection, our real-time shield is turned off, though when this box starts up, it has a tendency to turn on because Windows Defender is actually pretty good at what it does sometimes.
Right now, it's very good at its job.
But in our group policies, and you can review these a little bit closer, we have enabled no limit to the amount of blank passwords with remote access. We've installed everybody on the remote access list. We do not have any malware checking enabled. What else?
It does not automatically update.
Doesn't automatically update. And we have file sharing on, which means that if we go over to our files in our Kali box and we mount the IP address and log in with our newfound credentials. So if we go down here, similar to what I did with Lab 3, we're going to log in through SMB. And I've already previously logged in, so it remembered my password, but it's normally going to ask you for your credentials, which you already have through the brute force. You're going to find the System32 file, which has all the System32 files from the computer on it, which means we can upload, change, do whatever without any extra verification, and we can do this all remotely as soon as it loads.
Whenever it loads.
Yeah, there we go. So this literally has all the System32 files on it. It is very, very insecure, and we can do whatever we want to this box with it. So we had a lot of fun with this box, and we're running on 7 minutes here, so we're going to cut it out here, but I hope you like our box. I hope you like our presentation, and we will be submitting it to Blackboard and our documentation as well.
Yes.
This was Rachel Shima and
Melody Lou.
For CIS 4710. Yeah, 4710. Thank you. See you.